All right, here we are again. Last day of March. It's so rainy and dark. Like, I think it's like 8 o'clock. There's no light. Maybe it's not yet 8 o'clock. I don't know. It seems kind of early. Um, Lesson 90. We made it to the 90s, and then tomorrow we get a cookie. Just for the people who have missed the cookies, and reminding myself, tomorrow we're back on the cookies. The break is over. All right, so lesson 90. We're reviewing 79 and 80. So it was great to take like 10 days and go back and get a little refresher. And for me, I felt like this was my break. It really wasn't. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. So I felt like I've woken up to maybe a few problems. So these are great. I love the synchronicities of these. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. We're going to talk about that. We're going to review that. And then let me recognize my problems have been solved. So we have to recognize the problem first so it can be solved. And then 80 says, let me recognize my problems have been solved. So are you ready for me to read? Okay. I can't even hardly see because the lights blinded me. And then, but it's okay. As long as I even read like half of the words, I think you'll be happy. So I'm really going to listen to this today. I mean, not that I don't usually, but today I'm really going to listen to this for myself because, it's just so funny. It's so funny how some of these lessons are on the perfect, crazy day for me. And I woke up today and I was like, oh, is this my life? Like, kind of had some anxiety-ish a little bit. And yes, it is. And thank God you have the freaking Course in Miracles this year. Like, wow. All right, so if you're feeling that appreciation, I get it. I get it. This daily practice is literally saving my ass. So I appreciate it so much. All right, lesson 90. For this review, we will use these ideas. 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Let me realize today that the problem is always some form of grievance that I would cherish. Let me also understand the solution is always a miracle with which I let the grievance be replaced. Today I would remember the simplicity of salvation by reinforcing the lesson that there is one problem and one solution. The problem is a grievance. The solution is a miracle. And I invite the solution to come to me. I was going to say come through me. But it says, come to me through my forgiveness of the grievance and my welcome of the miracle that takes his place. So, it's suddenly way too hot in here. Between the tea, the heat, and the light, I'll enjoy it. All right, so I'm going to let that solution come to me through my forgiveness of the grievance and welcome them of the miracle that takes his place. Specific applications of this idea might be in these forms. This presents a problem to me which I would have resolved. So that's something to say. This presents a problem to me which I would have resolved. Here's another one. The miracle behind this grievance will resolve it for me. Good. That's a good. Be like, yeah, there's a fucking problem. The miracle behind this grievance will resolve it for me. So it's like, hello, you don't even have to fix your own problems. That's kind of good, right? Because you don't know how to fix them. The answer to this problem is the miracle that it conceals. All right, so that's it. Then the next part is 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Oh, just to announce, they're done. They're done. There's no workers anymore outside my window. I know. I don't know what's going to distract me now. Just regular cars driving by. That's it. That one was white. I'll start to tell you the color. The other one was red. All right, Sadie. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. I seem to have problems only because I am misusing time. as I probably have just demonstrated how I constantly misuse time. Now it's really hot in here. Okay. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. I seem to have problems only because I am misusing time. I believe that the problem comes first and time must elapse before it can be worked out. I do not see the problem and the answer as simultaneous in their occurrence. This is because, words said, this is because I do not yet realize that God has replaced the answer together with the problem so that they cannot be separated by time. I'm just completely referring back to yesterday where I literally was like, I literally said, I don't know how this is going to be solved. I guess time, right? Because that's how our brain works. Like, oh, like this will only be resolved, like time heals all wounds, that kind of stuff. Actually, that's not true. What this is saying is, if this is true, and obviously I believe that it is, that the problem and the solution are like a package deal. Like it can be simultaneous. Bam. All right. The Holy Spirit will teach me this if I will let him. So if you would like to see if this is true, then let the Holy Spirit teach you this if you will let him. You have to say like out loud, I am willing for the Holy Spirit to teach me this. You have to be a weirdo and say it out loud. And I will understand it is impossible that I could have a problem which has not been solved already. So theoretically, even if you just want to entertain the idea, if all problems come as a package deal with the solution, you have to know that it would be impossible that you could have an unsolved mystery or unsolved problem. It's impossible to have a problem which has not been solved already. So just like there's an answer key to the riddle, it might take you all day to figure it out, but there's already the answer ready. Like it's kind of like that. If there is an analogy for it, I guess it's that. You know, there's the answer's there already. These forms of the idea will be useful for specific applications. I need not wait for this to be resolved. So yesterday, that was an incorrect perception of mine when I thought that I needed to wait for these problems to be solved, that I needed time to elapse for it to be worked out. That's actually a misuse of time. So as I become more miracle-minded, I will know that all problems are already solved. It's like a package deal. They come, like, see the Walmart packaging, like you got the problem, you got the solution, you know, they're in the same package. There's probably a plastic divider in between them, I get it. We can't think, and that makes us think they're separate, but actually, bam, they could happen at the same time. So I need not wait for this to be resolved. If I want that solution, it's already there. Like, so I don't even really have problems, do I? Because they're instantly resolved. The answer to this problem is already given me if I will accept it. So if you're doing your workbook and you're like, oh, this problem's hard, you know the answers are in the answer key, right? So it's like if you will just accept the answer key, like, okay, I'm allowed to use the answer key. They tell you you're not, but apparently you are. There it is. There's your answer. Okay, and last, time cannot separate this problem from its solution. So there it is. There's some things. Time cannot separate this problem from its solution. So, yeah, I mean, I just know a lot of people definitely should be able to at least be able to think about this, just because who doesn't have that unsolvable problem that they're like, I don't know, just years and years, this grievance just can't be resolved. So that's why I think these are two great ones, because first, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. We have to recognize that all our problems is some form of grievance that we would cherish. Ask yourself, why am I cherishing this grievance? Does it keep me in that egoic place of power that I'm right and you're wrong? Does it like serve me somehow? Like, what's going on here? Why do I cherish this grievance? Why do I want to hold on to this problem? And then you just kind of realize that the solution is the miracle, and it's like, it's actually just waiting right behind it if you are willing to let the Holy Spirit help you see it. All right, this is already over 10 minutes, so I better just shut it. All right, lesson 90. Good job. We made it to the 90s. We made it to the end of March. It's raining. It's like just the perfect day to say, piss on March. I love saying that. Piss on March. I'm so ready for April. All right, see ya. Have a great day.